Alright folks, Dr. Remy LeBeau here. I have had zero time to do anything besides focus on my career right now, and so I have not been able to create anything for my channel, which I am mournful of, and believe me, I intend to eventually get back to providing videos on a regular basis about a variety of topics. Until then, there's gonna have to be a lot of patience on the part of people that are interested in more stuff, so be patient. I will be back. But till then, I thought I'd do a very quick and very amateurish video of my current collection in where I've consolidated all in my room, one room this time, and that's sort of the way I want to keep it. I think I just kind of leave it as a theme to a room, but fill the shit out of that room like I have with this one. So here it is, a quick tour of what I have. So here's one detail that's got sort of the Hellfire Club here, and then going up we see we've got Sabretooth, Mystique, and the Juggernaut back there. Just some random sort of important X-Men villains. Then up here we've got Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, and the clone of her son, Strife, chromed. Nice little set there. And of course, here I have Mr. Sinister all by himself because, well, he's my favorite. He's my favorite statue of all my statues. He's the first statue I ever sought out. I remember when I first thought, hey, I want to get some X-Men statues, I was like, is there a Mr. Sinister statue? And it turned out that there was a Mr. Sinister statue, and it was fucking perfect. As perfect as you would want a Sinister statue to be. So there it is. Fucking amazing. Just so fucking dope. Just the best fucking representation of Mr. Sinister as I remember him most, as is most iconic. This sort of Mark Silvestri design from, you know, his first appearances, you know, throughout the X-Men comics. Anyway, this is my favorite piece. This is my favorite piece. Anyway, going up, we've got, of course, Gambit, premium format figure. There he is. My first large piece, and of course, Sideshow. And I got, you know, Rogue here, modern Rogue. Kind of a weird statue, kind of. It's hard to position it properly, but it works for me. And I wanted to throw it in here because I wanted a Rogue with Gambit. I just didn't have the right Rogue with Gambit, so I thought, hey, I'll just throw this one in there. And here, my friends, is the brand new brown costume Wolverine premium format figure. Look how great he looks with the Gambit premium format figure. I mean, yeah, so nice. I love how in scale they are together. And I think they just complement each other really well. And I've always loved these two characters as a duo. If they do a Gambit movie, I know that Henry, what's his name? Hugh Jackman has said that the third Wolverine film will be his last. But you know, I really hope that they'll throw him into the Gambit movie if they ever get around to making the Gambit movie. Because I think they would be such a great pairing. They are a great pairing. You know, they're just a great set of characters. Gambit and Storm's another good set. Maybe they gotta throw somebody in there. You know, someone identifiable and someone that would, you know, work well with Channing Tatum. Anyway, so these are these folks. Then over here I've got sort of like my 80s and 70s X-Men sort of displayed together. I've got some LED lights. It's a little bit sloppy the way I have them laid out, but it's the best I could do for now. I've got a mirror here, and I think it creates a nice effect. You can barely see clear Iceman back there because there's so much light coming through him that it's obviously overwhelming the camera, but the actual statue that I'm looking at right now looks amazing with that much light coming through it. It actually looks like it's made of ice. It's really awesome. I love that statue. Here we got, of course, the threat that everybody faces, or most of these face. Who wasn't there? Thunderbird was not there. Beast, I think, was there, maybe even in that costume. Banshee, I think, was there. Sunfire may not have been there. Anyway, so I've got like Dark Phoenix and of course Gladiator associated with that storyline. So I've got Gladiator there as well. All works nicely together. Nice freaking display. There you can see it in like a wide shot. Anyway, so moving on, I've got Apocalypse over here. Oh, there I am. Hey, what's up, folks? Anyway, so here's Apocalypse, right? Apocalypse premium format figure. Then, if I go all the way down to his base, you see what I've got here is the Kotobukiya Uncanny X-Men Marvel Now, which are, I guess you can call them figurines, because they're like made of plastic. So they're the same, they have the same material and consistency as action figures, but they don't have any points of articulation. They're just like posed. And it's actually pretty cool. And they have like magnets in their feet. So I put them on top of like this mini fridge I have in my room, and they stick perfectly and they stay in place. Anyway, these four have been coming over the last, maybe over the course of like the last 2 years. During the, they were released during that time, maybe a few months apart. And this actually turned out to be like one of my favorite runs of X-Men. It's the last iteration of the X-Men before the current iteration. This is like pre-Secret Wars. And it's the whole era, where Cyclops becomes radicalized and like he like breaks away and starts his own school, and he's with Magneto, Magic, and of course Emma. And I don't know, I really love the costume, I really love the era. It could potentially be the last time we see Cyclops alive, the original Cyclops alive. I hope not, but potentially. Anyway, this is the set. There's Emma there on the right. So this is a set of the Kotobukiya Marvel Now X-Men that I chose to get. There's a couple more. I think there's like a Rogue, and a Wolverine, and a Storm, but I just wanted to get this group because they were the group in the Uncanny X-Men run. I think it was like Volume 3 by Michael Bendis and Chris Bachalo. Yeah, great team, great run. I would recommend it if you haven't read it. I'm sure. They have like all the trades out for that. Alright, then here I've got like this 80s Colossus statue. It's a custom, had it painted, very nice piece, really enjoy it. Got this lamp, put an X symbol on it, looks dope. Of course, here's Apocalypse, so, next to Apocalypse has to be like his key, like Horseman, Death. My favorite iteration of this character, this like black and silver version of Archangel. He appeared this way in the X-Force run. I think it's X-Force either Volume 2 or Volume 3. One of my favorite runs of X-Force, where it became like a Black Ops team with Wolverine. I don't remember if Psylocke was in at first. I think she was. X-23, Warpath, Archangel. Anyway, great freaking run. This is what he looked like there. I love this look. I had the original Angel repainted this. And it turned out really nicely. So I think this might actually be my second favorite of my statues. My first being Mr. Sinister. Anyway, so that's Angel there. All right, then I'm gonna pan across the wall. This is my bed here. This is what I got above it. I've got this beautiful drawing. It's an X-Men drawing of like the X-Men and like kind of like that 80s time period. And what's really cool about it is it's Jim Lee, who is my favorite artist. He is my favorite artist. But second, like, I don't know, some dude online, I found this I think on DeviantArt or something. Some dude online had like colored it himself. Some like guy in South America or something. He like digitally colored it, whereas it had not previously been digitally colored in this way. So it just looks so beautiful. So then I was able to get it printed by like this company that prints canvas prints for things that they don't have the license for. Like, you know, like most companies won't print stuff that is unlicensed. And I'm not printing it to sell it. I'm printing it to have it on my wall, and I've had it for a few years now, and it is gorgeous, and I'm so glad I did it. Anyway, there it is. Moving up here, we've got Bishop, and I've got him on the Nimrod base. Now, this is a custom statue from the Philippines. I've got him on the Nimrod base, and the Nimrod base, I had painted by Creations in Chrome, Gary Watson. So this is like a chrome painted version of the Nimrod statue base, which I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's done this to it. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And as you can see, like, it came out really great. It looks like fiberglass. It doesn't look just like cheap material. You know, Nimrod is like a Sentinel from the future. He should be made of some like super hard like fiberglass, some shit, whatever. It's amazing. I love it. Love the fucking statue. Love the sculpt. Love this Bishop. It's awesome. Here is the Weapon X by Bowen. One of my favorites. There is that Colossus custom that you can find on eBay. I don't like it because it's made of plastic and it's hollow, but the design is really cool. The sculpt itself is really cool. Anyway, going down here, I've got another Detolf. I've got a couple of Storm statues. Two of my favorite statues, because Storm is one of my favorite X-Men. I've got some customs here by this guy from Mexico named Chucho Rojas. Dude is so talented. He actually sculpted this Bishop for me. I gave him the artwork. It's a Joe Mad design from the 90s. And the guy turned it into a statue, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things ever because, you know, it was something that came from nothing. Totally from me and, you know, this artist. And I love it. And behind are just really cool, these are statues that he made, which is how I originally heard about him, that are based on a Humberto Ramos design from Civil War, the original Civil War. So he made this statue on the right, and then I had him make an X-Force statue, which he did, and it came out really nice as well. So there they are. That's the whole Chucho Rojas set. Love that. Below that, I've got the Astonishing X-Men version of Cyclops and Emma Frost from that same era. And then behind them we've got Warpath, and that's relatively same era. Below that, it's hard to see, don't have much light back down here, but I've got the X-23, I've got the X-Force Psylocke, and I've got the Uncanny X-Force Deadpool back there. Alright, here's some McFarlane Wolverine. This is one of my favorite things ever. This is a Boris Vallejo 1996 piece of art of Bishop. So this is again around the same time that Bishop was introduced. It's a Boris Vallejo piece that he made for a trading card, and I think he made a whole series of trading cards with his art of all the X-Men, or a lot of the Marvel characters, I think it might have been. And this was the Bishop, so what I did is I turned it black and white because it was in color. I just thought it'd be more interesting in black and white, and then I had it printed on canvas, and it looks really great on the wall. And this is my treadmill here. Hey, how's it going, treadmill? And here's a few more pieces of artwork. Here's a Sentinel. Here's a like a version of the Days of Future Past. One of the Days of Future Past covers. It's an homage to it, new version. This is a cover from Uncanny X-Men. It was like right after, it was like during M-Day when the Scarlet Witch said, "No more mutants." And then there weren't any more mutants, or there were only like 198 left or something. Anyway, and then the government sent Sentinels to quote-unquote protect the X-Mansion, and the Sentinels were run by humans, and, you know, ostensibly it seemed like they were trying to help the X-Men, but they were actually trying to control them. Anyway, here's another piece of artwork of Jean's, a close-up of Jean's eye, and you can see like the Phoenix Force in her eye, which is awesome. This is my Sentinel setup. So here's the Sideshow Sentinel. On the right there, in the far back right, you've got. I think this is my third favorite statue. This is my third favorite statue. It's Cable on a Sentinel head. It's like classic fucking Cable, the best fucking design of Cable. on a fucking Sentinel head. So beautiful. Just gorgeous fucking statue. Shit, I love that statue. It came out right around the time I started collecting. I missed the pre-order because apparently it sold out in like within an hour. I think there's only like 250 of these, and it went for $350 or something. I think I paid $650 for it from some collector that was selling it right when it was released. It actually went up after that. I think now it's like over $1,000, maybe more, maybe $1,100. I don't know, something along those lines. But when I got it, it cost me $650, which. Whatever, it was worth it because it's fucking awesome. Anyway, I've got a video of it on my site. You can check it out. Here's Colossus, Kotobukiya. Here's the Kotobukiya Rogue, which is okay, but I warn you, if you don't have it and you're planning on getting it, this arm here is not connected by a magnet for some fucking reason, just by some shitty peg. And you know, I knocked it off accidentally once, and the arm separated from the hand because of that. Thank you, Kotobukiya. You should have just fucking sprung for the magnet in the arm, dudes. Anyway, don't skimp on that shit. But overall, it's a nice design, and I like the statue, and it works well in this setup I have here. Anyway, over here on the left, we've got Gambit, which apparently has gone up to like $1,000 online, which is fucking crazy if you ask me. Because like the Bowen one didn't go up to that much, but fuck, this one went up that much, so it's expensive now. Happy I have it. Happy I don't have to fucking hunt it down and pay $1,000 motherfucking dollars for this fucking bitch, which I love, by the way. Here is a version of Banshee, similar to the one I had in my 80s, 90s display, but I have this one custom modified to have this like sort of 90s X-Men's costume. I think it was maybe Uncanny X-Men 285 or something, or 275 that had him in this costume. That had like all the X-Men in this classic yellow and blue costume. And I love it, and I'm glad I got it converted because it's fucking awesome. And that Banshee statue you can't even find anymore, which is fucking crazy. Anyway, that is Magneto back there, one of my favorite fucking statues. Love it, but unfortunately, I knocked the head off once, and a little piece of the helmet is missing. So if somebody has a head of this statue and they don't need it because their statue's broken, please let me know. I will buy the head from you. Thank you. Anyway. Here's one of my favorite pieces of art behind. It's a Mark Silvestri piece of alternative cover art for the, I think, astonishing period of an Uncanny X-Men. I think maybe it was like Messiah Complex. Some big storyline. This is like an alternate cover of an Uncanny X-Men issue. I think it was Messiah Complex, which is like the whole thing where, like, you know, new mutant babies weren't being born, then all of a sudden we got a new mutant baby born. Anyway, here's the Sentinel. This Sentinel. Only problem I have, I'll turn on the light here. So here's the Sentinel lit up, and it's awesome, but you can see that the center plate starts to kind of strobe. So like the lights included in the statue are like in the hands, in the chest, and in the eyes. Now, the chest started to strobe a while back, maybe like a few weeks after I bought it. So I contacted Sideshow about it. They were like they weren't very unwilling to help me. Like, I would send them an email and they wouldn't respond for like a month or something. No, I think it was like every week they would respond. And I thought that was a little inconsiderate, given, you know, I spent like or like close to $1,000 on this statue, and I was having a problem with it. Anyway, they didn't really have any solutions for me. They eventually gave me like $75 Sideshow credit, but I don't know. It's not terrible. Like, you can kind of like just kind of look at it and say, well, in a way it does maybe add a little life to the statue, because you could see there being some flashing thing, but it's also very distracting. So I think I would prefer not to have it strobe, but whatever. I love this statue. I know it's really hard to find, and whatever. It's amazing in its own right. It doesn't matter. But I mean, that's just my one little problem with the whole thing. But besides that, like, Jesus Christ, look at this thing. It's fucking goddamn motherfucking credible. Look at it. Fucking crazy. Anyway, so as you can see, all of these pieces have some Sentinel base associated with them. So this is like my Sentinel display. Now going up here, we've got the 90s display. We've got Storm. this clear, beautiful Action Iceman. There's Beast back there. There's the Kotobukiya Jubilee. There's the Bowen Professor X in the yellow chair. Here's the beautiful, maybe my fourth favorite statue, Jean Grey from the 90s. This beautiful statue, maybe my fourth favorite statue in the collection. There is Cyclops from the 90s. Here's the Kotobukiya brown costume Wolverine on a Sentinel base, which I really love, except for the Sentinel base. I think they could have done a better job with that. Kotobukiya here. Look to your left. Oh! Yeah, that's how you do a Sentinel base, okay? This is how you do a Sentinel base. Look at this. This thing is sick. Sick. The detail, like, it's just overboard. And I'm not going to show it all to you. And you can see more of it in my channel. But, like, in back, you can see the more, like, electronics. It's so dope. Anyway, before we look at Bishop, here's Psylocke, as you all saw her in X-Men Apocalypse, which, by the way, I loved. And I can't wait to get on Blu-ray. I understand why people had problems with it, but I don't give a fuck because I love that movie. It's awesome. I thought every moment was great. I thought there was a lot of redemption there with respect to like the whole series and like us finally seeing like Jean like turn into the Firebird Phoenix. Like that is something I waited for since that time they teased it at the end of X2 when you saw the Firebird swimming in the ocean and the film ended. Like, since that time I was waiting to see that because those assholes, Brett Ratner and his fucking asses, fucking did a completely different thing for this stupid fucking Last Stand movie, which I don't understand. Anyway, I'm gonna stop bitching about this because it's over, and I'm happy I have X-Men Apocalypse, and I look forward to more X-Men movies, and I can't wait to see what happens with this Legion show. And anyway, here's fucking Bishop on a Sentinel base. That's how you do a fucking character on a Sentinel base. Go to Bukiya. That's how you do it. Look at this. What is this? I don't understand it. This I understand. Wolverine looks amazing. This, not so much. Alright, anyway, I checked online recently and Professor X is going for a lot of money too. I guess people are finally starting to realize how rare these things are. I know that Randy Bowen is out of business for now, and apparently he's not coming back till 2021 because he divorced his wife, unfortunately, and Randy Bowen, I don't think you'll ever see this, but if you happen to ever see this, like, I'm really sorry about the fact that you weren't able to have that work out, but I hope you're happy. It seems like you are, and that's what's most important. And as long as you can maintain a good relationship with your daughter, I'm sure that's all good. And the rest of your children, if there are any. I don't know if there are. Anyway, apparently there was a divorce, and he can't run a Bowen Designs business until a certain time, or else he has to basically give up a lot of the revenue to her. So I think 2021 might be the year, and hopefully then he'll start again, which might actually be a good thing for me, because right now I'm like limited on space, but by 2021 I might have a lot more space to buy a lot more statues, and believe me, I'll be right back on top of him, trying to get him to make my favorite characters and the favorite versions of those characters. Anyway, so finishing off what I've got the this is the Magneto helmet. Over here is Gambit first appearance, and there is of course this custom Action Gambit statue that I love. There is my first X-Men comic that I ever bought, autographed by Jim Lee and Chris Claremont. This is Uncanny X-Men number 276. The first X-Men comic I ever bought, I bought it at like a Barnes & Noble or something, like off the rack, and it changed my life. There's the custom like Logan on a rock from the Philippines. Really awesome statue. Those claws are indeed metal. They are not shaped very well, but they're metal nonetheless. It's an impressive piece. Behind that is a hat. It's a steampunk Wolverine hat that I bought at WonderCon this year. Really loved it. Thought it was a really cool thing. I love steampunk in general. Steampunk X-Men makes me a little bit less soft between the nether regions. Anyway, this is one of those Kotobukiya X-Men figures. Now over here I've got the white costume version, which is how he originally premiered in the Marvel Now era, but then they also released this version. Now the white version is actually the variant, and this is the version that they normally released. And this is actually him in his costume that he appeared in the solo Magneto series, written by Colin Bunn. It's one of my favorite runs of any X-Men book ever. I thought it was such a great book. I actually have a video on my channel of like summarizing the first 6 issues. It's a fuck video. Fun, unawful comic knowledge. I think it was volume 1, in fact. I've only done 2 so far, or 3. I'm gonna make more throughout my life, believe me. Anyway, so this is how he looked in that series. So I had to honor my love of that book by getting this figure and displaying it, and there it is. Anyway, here is a canvas print of X-Men #1, the highest selling comic book of all time. I think 8 million copies, and it was sold in 4 different covers. So if you divide this into 4 parts, each one was its own cover, and then they had a 5th version, which was like the gatefold compilation of all of them. It was awesome. I loved it. I got all the covers. I think Chris Claremont was at Forbidden Planet in the Valley signing it. So I got a few of them signed when it was released. So it was awesome. It's a great memory I have of that time period. Anyway, here's a steampunk clock that I have. It has nothing to do with the X-Men, but looks fucking dope. And here's a couple of pieces of artwork that I have displayed. And of course, here is the X-Men Forever wall poster that I have framed, and I have it on a door because it's hard to display, and on a door it fits. And anyway, that's my room right now, and that's like all my X-Men shit that I have displayed. I have a few other things I don't have displayed. I actually, in my office at work, I've displayed some of them. I'm going to display some more. I'm going to throw out the X Factor set there. I already have the classic X-Men set, like the original costume version. I have that displayed in my office. Anyway, so that's my collection, guys, and that's what's been going on, and that's why I haven't done any videos, and that's life, you know? Gets busy, and you gotta just go with the flow if you want to get shit done. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well out there. I guess I should turn this around. I hope everybody's doing well out there. I hope that everybody's kind of like moving along in your lives, and like things are working out for you. And that's basically it. I hope that, sincerely. As always, I like you to remember that if you're gonna put an X in the box, you should, because folks, the fact is that ain't nobody checking me. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.